Hey guys, so I'm doing another one of these videos where they're a little more talky, I guess, and, well, basically they're not a tutorial, but I just wanted to talk about original designs today. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I was a little iffy on if I should do it. I've just been seeing a lot of confusion in the Loom community as to when something is original, so I thought I would come on and make a video just talking about it, but I've been in the community for like, probably 5 years maybe, and we got a lot of new Loomers this year, and I don't know, I just feel like I should talk about it because I see there seems to be a lot of confusion, and to me it is really frustrating for us older designers because, you know, we did it and then now, like, well, we did it first and then some new Loomers are coming in and saying, oh wait, I did it. It's like, no you didn't. The other reason I wanted to make this video, and this is actually my second time filming this, is because the first time I was you could tell I was angry in the video, and I'm gonna try to be calm, peaceful this time. It is very upsetting when your designs do get stolen, and it's not very motivating. It's discouraging, obviously. But yeah, I also asked for questions on Instagram about what is an original design, like last week, and I'll say some stuff at the end. Thanks everyone who gave your input though, I did appreciate. So I guess we'll just get into it. So basically what I got from my poll is everyone does agree on one thing with original designs. Original designs are basically new ideas. Something new, something we haven't seen before. I've gotten replies, all like that, and I do agree that like that's basically what an original design is. It is new, original ideas. The thing is, I feel like with a lot of Loomers is like they'll be like, yes, it's new original ideas, and then they'll make them themselves the exception. So it's like, it's new original ideas until I design something and it's not new original, but I want it to be. And I see a lot of that too. But I'm going to start just talking about Lumagurumi in general because I feel like majority of you watching this video probably are more interested in the Lumagurumi side of original designs rather than the bracelet side. So I'm going to go into Lumagurumi first. Also, I apologize for this specific sun thing. I don't know where it came from. I'm going to try to stay out of it. So the first things first was original designs. So we've agreed that original designs are like new things, new ideas, and of course, what I usually do when I have a design that I think is original is I'll check YouTube, I'll check Instagram, and I'll check Facebook, usually briefly for Facebook, for designs, just to make sure it doesn't look like it. I'm usually fairly up to date on Instagram, so I'll just always triple check YouTube, and yeah, Facebook I'm pretty, but I still check. The best way, honestly, to me to tell if something's original, if you just look at it and it looks different. So if you get your design, and like I made a mushroom design recently, and in fact the tutorial's already out, but I made the mushroom design. There is a couple tutorials for mushrooms out there, but the way that I said mine was original was because if you look at their mushrooms and you look at my mushrooms, it's two totally different mushrooms. Like they're not the same at all. If you look at it and it looks different, it looks original, it's original. And to me, that's basically the best way to tell, is if you look at it, it's original, and you don't have to like nitpick at the differences, you just can tell it is. That's like the easiest way. Now, this being said, I do know some things do look similar, and that's where it gets kind of interesting, because I think a lot of, like in the bracelet community, we use the term variations for bracelets who are like slightly like a bracelet, but they're not different enough for a tutorial, so it's just like a variation of it. I feel like a lot of Lumagurumi people don't acknowledge that there could totally be variations of one design in Lumagurumi. So the most obvious example, and I hope she doesn't mind me using this as an example, is Chloe Loom's bee and my bee. So my bee, of course, I made my bee 3 years ago, I think, and it's been out for a long time. She made hers this year, and she's claiming it's original because it's like slightly different. But okay, we've agreed that that original designs are new original ideas. If you look at her bee and you look at my bee, her bee is in new original ideas. So I honestly think, and that's why I think she should have taken the tutorial down when I asked, is that her bee is a variation of my bee and therefore it's not original. Yeah, so I feel like that's one of better examples of like a variation in Lumagurumi. I've also gotten, I'm not going to name names here, but it's kind of hard for me to give examples of variations without saying something. So I've had some people, the weird one that does not even count as a variation is I've had so many people, like you guys would not believe the amount of people I've had in my DMs, getting my narwhal, taking off the horn, and being like, it's a whale! And I'm like, I'm aware, by the way guys, that you can leave the horn off my narwhal and it looks like a whale. Another thing I had recently is I posted a pea design on Instagram, and somebody literally got my P design, took out a P and made the pod bit slightly shorter, and it's calling it original. That would be a variation of my design as well, because in fact, for the tutorial I was planning on showing how to make the pod thing smaller so that way you could only do 2 Ps. But that would be a variation because that's not new original ideas, it's just a slightly different version of my idea. The other one I got recently was I posted the gingerbread tutorial and someone made a smaller version of my gingerbread, but I think I know exactly what they did. And I've been meaning to talk to all these people, I just haven't. I'm pretty sure what they did is they got my gingerbread design and they took out 1 stitch at the top, so like you start with 5 stitches. I'm pretty sure they started with 4 and they triple wrapped the cap in, and I'm pretty sure that's all they did, and they're calling it original. And that's not original. And I think we can all agree on that. Another example I have is I made a Lumigurumi whale, like, probably a while ago, and it is delicious. This design whale was like a heavy inspiration. Like, I made her whale, but I wanted to make a whale like that, but smaller, so I did. But I still to this day haven't made a tutorial for it, because I don't know if it's original enough, because I basically took her whale, make it smaller. And see, that's where size gets confusing too. Like, how different of a size does it have to be, or like how much do you have to do for it to be different? And I feel like when it comes down to that, you might want to just ask the designer. The other thing I've seen a lot of, and I'm pretty sure some loomers do, is they'll get a crochet design and they will like flip it to bands and say it's original. And I actually saw someone do this, but they did it the correct way, and I was so happy. So I made this, it's a crochet T-Rex, why did I say T-Rex? It's a Triceratops, Triceratops, and I'm gonna put the photo on the screen, but Crazy for Cats 19 actually made that, but with bands, and she did it correctly because she credited the dude who made the tutorial, and I was like, yes. But yeah, so if you do change something from crochet to bands, you're just changing the medium. You can't get someone else's ideas, just change the medium and then be like, it's original, because it isn't. You didn't come up with it. I do feel like a lot of the mistakes that happen could easily be avoided if people would just check to make sure that that hasn't been done before. I feel like a lot of people will post them or make tutorials and then just not check and not even care. Now, bracelets. So bracelets are a little more confusing, because with bracelets it's a little bit different than Lumigurumi, that if you look at a bracelet and you look at another bracelet, it does have to be like different enough, because bracelets are all kind of very similar and you do want them to be different, but it's just harder to tell. It's harder to say when a bracelet's original. It has to be, like we said, new ideas, new different things. And like we have mashups, we have variations in like the bracelet community, and it gets really confusing as to like when something is different enough. Another example, I forgot I said this one, is a variation. There's been this one variation that I've had that people asked me to make a tutorial for it for a while, but I did not, because I knew it was a variation. It did not need a tutorial. So I mashed up the kahuna and the showgirl bracelet, and I basically took the sides from the kahuna and then the middle bit from the showgirl, and I put them together. And everyone was like, oh my god, it's so pretty, we want a tutorial. But the thing is, it wasn't that hard to do that, and honestly, if you watched the showgirl bracelet and if you watched the kahuna bracelet, you'd probably know how to do it. So I felt like it wasn't my space to make a tutorial for that. I still haven't to this day. And there's a lot of people, I feel like with the bracelet community, it's more like if we did a variation or a mashup and somebody wanted to do it, but like we always felt like it wasn't different enough for like, I guess like a formal tutorial. We would always just like pass around steps. And I feel like if like Lumigurumi wanted to do this too, we could like never make a formal tutorial for something, but maybe pass around patterns. I feel like most designers would be okay with that. So that's usually what I'll do with like mashups and stuff as well. I'll be like, here's the like thing for the original bracelets, but this mashup was by so and so. And I feel like that's a good way to do it, just so we respect everybody. I just feel like variations shouldn't have tutorials, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on that. I'm not gonna get too much into bracelets, because with bracelets, I honestly have no idea. Like, you really just have to really check with bracelets, and it's really hard just to make sure when something's original. It has to be different enough, and there are so many bracelets out there, so the bracelet community is very confusing, and I'm gonna say this for the Lumigurumi community as well. If you're ever not sure if something's original and you like have no clue, and you know there's so much stuff, and if you don't want to go through everything, I've made like loads of bracelets and I keep up fairly well with Lumigurumi. If you ever just want to like send something to me and be like, hey, do you think this is original? Just let me know. I wouldn't mind. like helping you figure out if it's original or not. I've had a couple people do it and I don't mind at all. You just have to keep in mind that if you are sending me something to ask if it's original, it might take me a couple days to get back to you because sometimes I have school or I have things I'm doing, so just give me a few days, but I will get back to you and I don't mind at all. Honestly, if you have any looming questions ever and you want to ask somebody, I've been doing this for like 7 years, so if anyone, you could always just message me and I wouldn't mind at all answering your question or whatever. Okay, so the very last thing I wanted to add is I always feel one of the things why it's helpful if you do like check to make sure everything's original before you post it is because I always feel like such a horrible person when I have to go to someone and be like, I already made that, or oh, it's so and so's design and they already have a tutorial up for it, they've already claimed it as their own. I feel so bad. So if you guys could really just check, please, before you like say something's original, I would appreciate it, because then I don't have to be the one who's like, it's not original, please take it down. I always feel so mean, especially because I know if it's not your design, you still made a tutorial for it, you still took the time to do that, but just please always check for your design's original. Message me if you don't think it is, or if you need help figuring it out, I don't mind. And yeah, the last thing I wanted to say, well, this is now the last thing, this is it, and then I'll close this video up, is I get a lot of people, because there was a couple people who have stolen my things and put them up, and I swear I always get the reply that is, how am I supposed to get popular on like YouTube or whatever if I don't have an original design? And I think it's kind of ridiculous that people actually think that you have to have original designs to get popular on YouTube. And I feel like Emmeline, Kitty Cat Looms, they're a good example of people who really didn't do tutorials. I mean, they have tutorials, but they don't have like mainly tutorials that are still pretty popular in the Rainbowloom community. And I feel like you really don't have to have original designs to be popular. And I just wanted to say this in case you're thinking of making a channel, and you should. It's fun. And you're like, I don't know if I want to do it, I don't have original designs. Just remember, you don't have to have original designs. Like, you could totally just do other videos, do other things. I do have a lot of original designs, and that's just because that's what I like doing. I think that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for anyone who submitted the questions into my Loom, submitted their opinion on what original design is. I was gonna read some out in this video, but I forgot to charge my other phone that I would read it off of, and I just really wanted to refilm this because I want to get this out. The last thing I just wanted to say was just about, as a designer, it is really, really frustrating when you put all these work into tutorials, and I don't think you guys realize how long it takes me just to get to the point to make a tutorial, because I am so picky with my designs. Like, it has to be perfect before I even put the design out there. Or sometimes it takes me a week to get the pattern correct. It's just frustrating when you do all this and then someone just steals it. And, you know, the creative process does take a long time. Like I said, filming the tutorials is actually the easy part. To me, designing takes a while. And it's just so frustrating, and it's not motivating when you see a lot of people stealing your designs or doing variations and calling it their own. And, I have, like, 3 people I need to message right now because their designs are so similar to mine, and I'm procrastinating doing it because I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to have to be like, that's my design. And I always try not to get discouraged by the people stealing my designs, because I know, like, people do steal, but like there's loads of people who just, you know, like making it and would be probably disappointed if I ever left, just because the people who are stealing get to be too much. And this is my for fun hobby. Like, I do art. I mean, you guys, well, you can't see my wall very much today, but if you see my full wall this way, it's covered in art, and that's more of like what I want to do for like my career. And Rainbowloom's kind of the thing I do for fun. Like, this isn't serious. Well, it's not, it's fun, you know? It's easier for me to do because I've been doing it for so long, and I just don't want this hobby to become more of like a chore, I guess, just because I always have to deal with people like stealing things and then all this stuff. I've always wanted to just come on here and put my designs out and then see people make them, and like that's what I like about this. Like, but yeah, it's just really discouraging. So if you could just please triple check your designs so I don't have to message you, I would appreciate it so much. But I hope someone at least found this interesting. Share your opinions with me in the comments about anything you want to say or add to this stuff that I said. And yeah, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. I do plan on doing more videos like this where I talk more, but I think that's it. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I hope this was helpful. Please check your designs. And yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna go. Bye, guys.